All right, if you have your Bibles, turn to James chapter 5. And when you're there, you may stand. James chapter 5, starting in verse number 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. Is there any among you afflicted? Let him pray. Is any merry? Let him sing songs. Is any sick among you? Let him call for the elders of the church, and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. And if he had committed sins, they shall be forgiven him. Confess your faults one to another, and pray for one another that ye may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Father God, I pray, Lord, in the name of Jesus, God, that you anoint these lips today. God, I pray, Lord, that you speak every word that proceeds out of my mouth today. God, let it be blessed and anointed of you. Father God, I pray, Lord God, Lord, that you're able to help me, Lord God, Lord, to hold my flesh down. Father God, Lord, and let your spirit just flow, Lord, in the name of Jesus, God, I pray. Amen. You may be seated. You know, the prayers, effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Righteous, what that means is morally right, or justifiable, virtuous, very good, excellent. Virtuous means high morals or standards. You know, everybody says, oh, I pray every day. But do you really pray every day? And do you pray as the Word tells you you're supposed to pray? Do you really get on your knees? Do you really humble yourself before God and say, God, I'm dying to my flesh today. I'm going to do everything that I can for you spiritually because that's what I need to do. I need to stand up, God, so that I can be a better warrior for you because, believe it or not, folks, everybody in here, we're in a battle. We're in a battle for heaven. You're either going to make it or you're not. The devil is out to shoot you. He's got his tool bag open and he's out to take anything out of that bag that he can to knock you down. And if he can get you down, he's going to do everything to put his foot on your throat to hold you down. That's why we have to be praying all the time. He tells us in the Word we should be continually praying. Most of us, we don't. Most of us sit down to a meal, and rather than give God praise and thanks and honor for providing that meal for us, we just sit down and start eating. It's like, hey, it's food. I'm hungry. Let's eat. I'm starving. I can't wait to pray. I'm going to eat right now.
I got a dog like that too.
I have my children and my grandchildren. When they come around our home, if they pick up that fork before I've said grace, I tell you, you better put that fork down or you're going to wear it. Because in my house, you've got to pray and give God thanks for what you're about to eat. Now, some of my grandkids, they really don't understand that because they're like, now, Papa, I'm hungry. And we've got one, when he's hungry, he's hungry. I mean, he's not full-blood Campbell, but the Campbell that he got is that hangry side when it's time to eat. You better let him eat or he's going to bite your arm off because he's starving. And we have to work with him to pray before he eats. That's why in the Word, he tells you in Matthew 6, verse 9. After this manner therefore pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. You know, part of the problem with Christians, they come down to the front, they pray through, they get up. Most of the time they'll leave what they took with them to the altar and leave it there and get up and go back to their seat because they're changed, they're different. But there's still a few that pick up a few of the things that was there and carry them back with them. So they haven't totally sold out to God, or else they left those things there. We have to be as elders. And by elder, if you were saved yesterday and then your friend gets saved today, you're an elder to that person because you've been saved a day longer than them. You need to live your life according to the Word. You need to let them understand that, you know, God, this is my friend and they need you. Help me be the example that I need to be for them. Kind of like we learned today in Sunday school, you've got to step up. You've got to do what God wants you to do. You've got to be that light for everybody to see. This COVID thing that's going around, I saw the other day, people were talking about Daniel. Now, back in the day, all of those presidents and stuff, they decided they were going to get Daniel, get him taken out because he was just too big for his britches, according to them. So they decided, we'll get the king to sign this into law, and we'll catch him whenever he's praying, when he's not supposed to be. We'll get him, throw him in the lion's den, he'll be gone. If that's what people were doing today, COVID wouldn't be here.
That's right.
Because the Christians, there are more supposed Christians in this world than there are sinners. Because everybody, if you ask anybody walking up and down the street, 90% of them are going to say, yeah, I'm a Christian. And then filth comes out of their mouth 5 seconds later. We have to be the example for them to follow. But we've also got to be the ones that stand on the Word, believe the Word, and pray the Word. That's why God tells us in the Word that Daniel prayed 3 times a day. And Daniel knew what had happened. He knew that it had been signed into law. But he knew he served a bigger God.
That's right.
90% of us, we don't go to God with our problem. We let the problem come to us and take us over, swallow us up, suck the life out of us because we're so upset about our problem, instead of saying, you know what problem? I serve a bigger God than you. I ain't worried about you. I'm going to let God take care of this, which is what we're supposed to do, right? Yeah. We're supposed to give everything that we have to God. We die to the flesh daily. What does that mean? That means if you don't have any food, you get on your knees and you pray, God, I'm dying to these belly pains that I'm feeling. I'm dying to this hunger. Because God, without you, life's not worth living anyway. And I guarantee you, whenever you're serving God with everything that you've got everything in your body, everything in your being, everything in your spirit, everything in your soul, living for God, you're not going to have problems. Sure, you'll have little things that pop up, little things that come in to try and irritate you, because that's what the devil's job is, to steal, kill, and to destroy. He wants to take you out. That's his only job. One of these days, I'm going to bring the tool bag up here, and we're going to preach on the tool bag that the devil's got. Show you a lot of things that's in that bag that some of y'all don't even realize is tricks of the devil. You know, we talked briefly about the different Bibles that are out this morning. I want everybody to understand something. If you're not, let me see this. If you don't have a Bible like this, and you're using your phone, you better get a real Bible and look at it and compare it to your phone. Because there are words that are being taken out of every version of the Bible just to change the meaning. You know, growing up my entire life, I knew the day was coming heaven to where I'm going to go to church or go to work and the devil's going to come in and take my Bible. He's going to tell me I can't have it anymore. And they're going to have the big book burning thing like they did back when Hitler was there. But the older I get, the more I'm realizing I don't think they're going to do that. That's why they're making it where it's okay to be gay. It's not a big deal. I go to church. I have my boyfriend. We're all right. We love each other. Things are great. Not in my Bible. My Bible doesn't speak one word saying that that's good. My Bible says that I am to love both of those guys because they got souls. I have to live my life before them so that they see what's right. And given the opportunity, whenever God gives you that opportunity, at that point, you're going to be able to speak what they need to hear, and they're going to hear it. And they're going to stand before God someday if they don't change. And God's going to say, well, I had Brother Steve come talk to you. You blew him off. I said, I don't want to hear anything you got to say, don't make it out of my face. Or they're going to be like, and walk off. We all know all those same kind of people. We know that there's people out in this world that pretend to be a friend. They pretend that they really like you. I mean, that's just because that's what they do. I mean, they're trying to be nice to you. They don't want to hurt your feelings. But you know, that's how a lot of Christians get themselves caught up in sin. Because things happen in our lives, and we all of a sudden, like, this one thing really always gets me tickled, is when a woman comes in and says, do you like this dress on me? Well, do you? She's looking back at you like, well, I asked your opinion. But do you like it, honey? And then if she says, well, no, I really don't, well, if you don't like it, then you shouldn't wear it. But most people say, oh, baby, you look really good, man. I really like the way you look in that dress. You just look so pretty. I just like it. Therefore, unless I repent, God comes, I'm going to hell. And I'm going to live in my own special place in hell. That's why we have to make the decision, I'm going to serve God with everything that I got. You can ask my wife, probably she could use everybody's fingers, toes, ears, nose in this entire building and still not even get close to the amount of times I have hurt her feelings by saying something that I should have kept my mouth shut on. And if you're married, I know that you've been in that same position.
Amen.
Because there ain't nobody in here that's perfect, especially a man. We're not ever going to be perfect.
Amen. I saw that.
Flip over to Acts, chapter 1. Book of Action. I'm going to be in verse 14. It says, these all continued with one accord in prayer and supplication with the women and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and with his brethren. Folks, whenever we pray in a group, you've got to be on one accord. If you're praying by yourself, you've got to have your mind focused upon God. And I'm telling you this because even me as your pastor, when I pray, I really sometimes struggle when I pray. Because when I get on my knees to pray or I'm laying in bed and I start going over things in my mind that I'm praying for, the devil starts throwing darts. Throwing them in me to get my mind out of what I was praying on and on whatever else. Now I know that he cannot read my thoughts. He does not know what I'm thinking. He doesn't know if I'm praying in the spirit. He don't know none of that. But he's able to tell something or else he's not, I mean, he wouldn't be coming at you to hit you with all these things to knock you off center. To get you to forget who you were praying for. That's his job. I know I constantly tell everybody here that this is the devil's job. His job is to hurt you. His job is to keep you out of heaven. His job is like COVID, crowd control. We're going to put you people down, 6 feet with each other. We went into a store last night, and now they have stickers on the floor. Walk this way.
Yeah.
You start walking this way, you're about halfway, and all of a sudden somebody comes that way, coming this way. I'm like, that thing down there said, don't come this way. And I'm one of these, I like to follow the rules. I like to do what the rules say. And when I see those people, I just want to yell, hey! Turn around and go the other way. But that's not Christian. That's not very polite. That's where I get myself in trouble with my mouth, because I tell people how I feel, what I think, and without even thinking it, I just blurt it out because that's just what I do.
Crucify them.
And, you know, I am supposed to be showing God's love everywhere that I go. Now, I could, when they're coming down that aisle the wrong way, look at them, look at the floor, look at them, look at the floor, look at them, look at the floor, hoping that maybe they kind of pick up the eye contact, like, what's he looking at? Oh, I'm going the wrong way, and they turn around. We had this lady last night that she came down the wrong aisle, her and her friend, coming up this aisle the wrong way. And me and this other guy, our cars are facing the right way. And she's doing the wrong way. I didn't give her the look. I didn't do nothing. I just said, Lord, you're going to have to keep us safe here. Because you know my flesh, God. You know I want to reach out and touch her. And then all of a sudden I look and she has turned her cart around where it's facing the same way as everybody else. It's like, I don't want to get busted any of these people on this aisle. I mean, that other guy, I was skinny next to him. I was excited. Thank you, Jesus. You know, we all look for the proud moments that we have in our lives. Things that make you happy. We're all looking to be happy. Being a Christian makes me happy. Praying makes me happy. Because when I'm praying, I'm not complaining. As long as I'm praying to God, I don't have any problems. I don't have any issues because I don't have time to think about anything else, because I'm just praying to God. I'm telling God, I love you, I praise you, I'm worshiping God. I'm not getting into my flesh about whatever. The other day, my wife, she's in the kitchen and she's going to make spaghetti. She makes spaghetti. We had spaghetti for over a week because she makes so much spaghetti. She goes, I said, man, you make a lot of spaghetti. She goes, yeah, I just can't seem to do it just for 2. I'm like, yeah, I see. But it was good spaghetti. But you know, after a couple of days of it, you're like, I'm really kind of tired of this kid. I have something else. And she's like, you want me to throw that food away? No, I don't want to throw that away. Can we freeze it or something? Well, we just got one more thing out. We'll eat that today and then you don't have to worry about it. Yes, dear. You know, I have to be nice. This is my wife. I have to be respectful because she is my wife. I have to be respectful because she's the other half of me. She is my rib. If you're married, you should be married to your rib. And if by chance you married without asking God's opinion of who you should marry and you're married, well, get used to them because they're your rib. Shouldn't be kicking them to the curb because whatever, they're with you. And to be a Christian, you got to stay married. We've got to serve God with everything that we got. We've got to pray with every ounce of our being to let God know that we love Him, we trust Him. When people walk up here for prayer, everybody that's up here that's going to be laying hands upon them need to be in one mind and one accord. You're up here praying for their needs, not yours. It don't matter, because I guarantee you, you're going to come up front someday, you're going to be standing up here praying. Somebody's going to come in that you don't like. Or maybe you got into it with them before church, they're going to come up and pray. Or maybe you're the one that got into it with them and you're the one out there needing prayer and they're up there to pray for you. You want them to be in one mind and one accord on God's side. Flip over here to Acts chapter 6. Verse 4 says, but we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the ministry of the word. That means we've always got to be praying to God. We've got to always keep our mind focused upon God. We've got to always do everything we can for God. We need to be praying to God. We can't be praying that we win the 6 winning numbers to the lotto and be multi-millionaires and happy forever, because you won't be. It is the same I tell people that get up and leave the church. You're going to run into the same issues, the same kind of people at the next place you go. They're not going to be any different. They may have a different name, a different look, but they're still going to be the same people. You're going to end up with that same issue, that same problem. It's because God is trying to teach you something to make you a better person. So you got to just suck it up, buttercup, and go on down the road. I'm going to get through this, God. No matter what happens, I'm going to go on. I am going to make it through this problem. I mean, we all know I rub people the wrong way sometimes. Just looking out there at some of y'all today, I'm like, y'all are like, I'm trying to get through this sermon pretty quick because there's a lot of other things going on here today, and I know we're not having to worry about getting into the buffets because all the buffets in town are still closed. There ain't no Golden Corral, there ain't no Western Sizzling, there ain't no House of Szechuan that you go in and get all you want to eat for $8. You're going to have to go in and order something off the menu, which is going to cost you more than arrows. So, we're cooking home. And I know some of you have already got your crock pots full of stuff ready to use, so when you get out of here at noon, you're home by 12:15, 12:30, pop it out on a plate, you're ready to go. You're done. We need to be continually in prayer. We need to be serving God with everything that we have. We cannot let the devil knock us off of our track. We cannot let the devil keep us from doing what we need to do. I have to serve God the best way that I can. That's one thing that the Christians always say is the Bible tells me to seek out my own salvation with fear and trembling. But the problem is, a lot of people's fear and trembling has nothing like mine. Because they are not as sold out to Christ as I think they need to be. Which, that is my problem. I need to, Lord, work with them, bless them, help them understand what your word says. Because I am supposed to be encouraging people. We talked about in this morning's Sunday school lesson that you have to watch what you say and how you say it, unless you're being led of the Lord. Because if you're doing it in your flesh, you're going to cause more damage. And then you're going to become the hypocrites that they've been saying have been in the church all these years. And we all know whenever I see somebody like that, they say, I'm not coming to church, too many hypocrites. Well, there's room for one more, come on. You know, we have plenty of pews that are open. Come on in. Because we're supposed to be open arms. I'm not supposed to judge somebody because of whatever their issue is. I'm just supposed to love them. You know, it was also mentioned in this morning that Christ loved everybody and Christ was kind. But there were several times that he had had enough. Flip some tables, let people understand, nope, we ain't having this. As Christians, there may be a day coming where you're going to have to do that. But you better pray it's led of the Lord, because if it's not, those people's blood is going to be on your hand. That's why we have to watch and make sure that everything that we do, we prayed about it before we go out and do it. 21. Verse 22. In all things, whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. You know how many people take that one verse and twist it around and everything in their life? God, I prayed for the 6 winning lotto numbers. Why didn't I win? Because I told you not to cast lots. You throw a dollar at those things, you're going to spin out 6 numbers, and yeah, you may win $1. You may not win nothing. You may as well, like my wife would do, take that dollar and throw it out the window. I cannot depend on that because it's not going to change my life. It's not going to make me any more happy to have more money than I know what to do with. It's not going to make you happy either. Even if I'm sharing every penny that I have with you, you're still not going to be any more happy than you were before you got it. You got Christ. You're going to be happy with everything that you have. You're going to be content. You should be. I'm content with my house. I'm content with the furniture. I'm content with my clothes. I'm content with my vehicle. I'm content with my job. But God says He'll give you the desires of your heart. You can be content with what you have and say, you know, God, if you see it in your will for me to have a larger home, I'm ready. But you better make sure that you're ready because God's going to be the one that's going to have to do it because in order to have a larger home, you're going to have a bigger payment. I mean, all these other things go into it that nobody thinks about those. This Facebook thing that people are they're always sharing something about this 2020 expedition. Can be yours, so-and-so lost it because it turned out they were 15. Folks, they're never going to have it. It's just some advertisement thing. You've got to pray about it with God. God, I would like another car. It don't have to be brand spanking new. It just has to be something that runs, that is dependable. Anything that we ask for in the name of Jesus, in faith, believing, you've got to make sure that whatever it is that you're asking for is biblical. Because God's just not going to give you every desire of your heart because you think it is. Because if He did, everybody in here would have so much stuff that would not be happy. Everybody in here to really stop and look at your prayer life. Do you really pray? Do you pray like Daniel, or you just think that you pray like Daniel? You think that you pray 3 times a day? Is your 3 times a day 15 seconds each? Or do you really get down and do you really fast and pray? Do you really get on and get earnest with God? Do you really pray for everybody in the church, or you just say, Lord, touch everybody that goes to our church? That's okay. But really, if you're going to get down and earnest with God, you're going to say, Lord, Sister Pam's not here today. She wasn't there this morning, God. God, heal her body, strengthen her, so that when she is able, God, bring her back into the house so she'll be here with us. Help her overcome whatever this is that's keeping her at home. We all have to stop and think like that. Because they're not here for a reason. God, help me not to judge them for whatever they're not coming here today for. None of your business other than to pray for their salvation. God, just let them, wherever it is, let them continue to serve you. Anybody in here this morning that is having issues